on to 209 Journey Podcast. I'm your host, Luis Urbano. And before I introduce my guest tonight, I do want to remind you all, if you haven't yet, go follow the 209 Journey on all the social media pages, Facebook and Instagram at the 209 Journey, and check out everything we have. We're actually planning on doing more video content on Instagram, and also doing more live streams at events, at festivals, things going on around the 209. That's what we're planning for. But again, follow the pages so you find out when we're going to go live, or any videos that we're going to post there as well. Again, that is at the 209 Journey on Facebook, Instagram. Also check out the YouTube page at the 209 Journey as well. Right there, you can actually watch all the episodes that we had for season 3, most of the ones we're going to have for season 4, and not just the episodes themselves, but we're also going to have more content on there. We're going to go out to businesses, have longer videos as well, things to do around the 209, and so much more. So again, check it out. Subscribe to the channel at the 209 Journey on YouTube, because we're going to be posting a lot of videos this year on there, and maybe some videos that won't make it to Facebook either. So check it out. We really want to grow the YouTube page, because we want to hopefully monetize that someday as well. So that would be really awesome. And really thank you everyone who has followed the social media pages and who also has subscribed to the YouTube channel. We really appreciate it as well. All right, so on this second episode of season 4, I have Mariana Bejar. She is actually the owner of Cafecito Mio, a coffee business located in Keys, and she also goes to a few pop-up events around the 209 as well. So we'll be talking about some of those events and how it's been like in this first year that she's actually had the business, because she actually opened up the business late January last year. So exciting that she's able to celebrate here the first year, and that we actually have her here on the podcast on the first year, which wasn't planned for. It worked out that way. So let me go ahead and introduce Mariana Bejar to the podcast. So welcome to the 209 Journey, Mariana. How are you?
Good, and you?
I'm doing good. Feeling a little cold because we've had that breeze come through. I know it was really windy yesterday when we went out to your coffee shop, but yeah, you know how it goes, right? It seems like it's cold everywhere around the country around this time.
Everywhere, yeah, it's really cold.
Luckily, we don't have any snow, so at least we should be, I guess, thankful for that, because other places, they're seeing way too much snow. um,
Yeah.
I know you were telling us yesterday that you grew up in Keys, and I think you might be the first guest that I have that actually grew up in Keys. So this is awesome. We'll be able to hear firsthand what someone's experience has been like there in Keys. So can you tell us more about what it's been like growing up there, and just how you've seen it change ever since?
So it was really small. I feel like when I was younger, we only had one store, and it was like the main store, my home location where we set up. And I feel like that was the only store there used to be until a couple years ago. I don't remember exactly when, but then we got a Dollar General. And when we got a Dollar General, everybody was like, "Oh my God!" Like, so it slowly has grown more and more, and I think it's great, to be honest, because it puts Keys, like, you tell someone you're from Keys and they know where it's at, not
Yeah.
just because of taco trucks. So
Oh,
yeah, because we
everyone
have a
follows
lot.
them. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's interesting you mentioned Dollar General too, because I was just watching a video the other day about Dollar Generals popping up usually in like rural areas, and sometimes like you get other things that get built around there just because people are now going to these areas. So it looks like something might be happening there similar, right? So glad you guys
Yeah,
got it there.
yeah, like, not only that, but they just built like a trucking company, like, right at the entrance, and I feel like that has gotten Keys like a lot more. How do you say it? Like, a lot more, like, it's been known more because the truck stop is actually in Keys. So I feel like that's a big company to bring more people in. And then they started building houses, like new houses, like more and more. So it's definitely getting bigger.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, they're building houses everywhere too. It seems like we might have a new city being built as we speak. The more
Yeah.
houses they build, the more it's like, oh, we might be seeing another city. I know that something's happening another place in the 209 where it looks like there might be a new city. So same thing might happen there. Or you guys might just keep growing. Um, well, I want to talk a little bit more before we get to talking about Cafecito Mio, about your career plans. I know you were telling us a little bit yesterday, so just tell me more about, like, aside from running the coffee business, like what are some of your career plans?
I want to be in the medical field. I want to become a respiratory therapist. Just because I like doing a lot of hands-on thing and I like helping people. And I feel like that's probably one of the greatest careers you could be in to help people. And um eventually, like, I don't want to work in a hospital setting. I probably want to work on a helicopter, become a flight respiratory therapist. So that's one of my goals that I have besides the business with my career.
Yeah, and that's a great career. I know that MJC recently, or maybe not recently, I think it's recently, maybe I think it was like 10 years ago or so, but they actually introduced the bachelor program for that, right? Where you don't even have to go to Stan, you could just stay in MJC. But I know you're telling us it's a bit competitive, right, to get into that?
Yeah, competitive in the sense where it's a lottery-based system. So you could have it's just with the luck if you get your name drawn. Because I remember one of the years that I applied, I do have a friend. It was her first year applying, and I think it was my second time applying, second or third, and she got in on the first one. And it was like, I just think about it. I look at it as it's not my time yet.
Mhm.
So it'll come with time and when I'm ready to do it.
Yeah, no, I think it's interesting that they judge based on that, right? Because I do think that it should be more like merit based, or like kind of
Just
write
like the
this
nursing
essay.
program. Yeah.
So,
'Cause I know the
yeah.
nursing program is through grades and GPA and test scores and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. At least that's that way. Yeah, it's like, all right, do at least that. Don't make it
Yeah.
just lottery, right? Because it's just, yeah, it seems more fair. And hopefully, even if it's lottery, maybe if you already applied 1 year, then you can actually have higher odds, maybe, or like you get an
I
extra
think so,
raffle.
yeah. Like, with the nursing program, it is a little more competitive just because they don't take as many people,
Hmm.
but, that one is actually based on a test called the TEAS test, and that is a very, like, difficult exam that people have a hard time on. And surprisingly, that is, like, the only reason why I didn't pursue nursing because I didn't wanna take the test. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that and a lot of other things, but
Oh,
I feel like that was one of the main reasons why I didn't wanna apply to the program.
oh yeah. Oh, I can imagine the test for that. It's got to be
Yeah,
probably like really stressful. um,
yeah,
Well, good luck with that. Hopefully it works the second time. It's one of those things where I'm sure it's not going to take too long, even if it's a lottery system. I want to say that they have to have something in place where you could have a higher odd. I think like the longer you've been waiting.
yeah, I
um,
think so. So hopefully this year we get lucky.
so I know you were also telling us yesterday that in your family they also have businesses, right? They also do other things as well. Your sister has a business that she's currently trying to expand as well. So just can you tell us some of those businesses and like what they're doing?
Yeah, so my younger sister, she's actually a nail tech, a really good nail tech. Her Instagram is at Beauty by Elisa. For anybody interested in checking out her work. But she started off small, and she got better at what she does with a lot of practice, and now she gets booked out monthly. So she even sadly she has to turn away some people because of the amount of people that book with her. But not only that, she is also a florist and she does floral arrangements for any occasion. Her first big occasion was a wedding, I believe. So, it's it's things that interest her, so she tends to be really good at whatever interests her. And I'm proud because she's my younger sister. And then my mom has her own business as well. She sells aguas frescas. Her Instagram is Refresca by Fina, and everybody loves her aguas. She goes to multiple pop-up events, but she also caters as well. She has people order from her. They order either like a 3-gallon vitrolero or like a 5-gallon jug. But besides that, she also does taco caterings. So I feel like because our mom like is a businesswoman herself, like she does these two businesses, that's kind of what motivates us to do our own business. So we look at her and we're like, if she can do it, then we could do it. And I mean, aside from coffee, I also do take photos. So do photography on the side. We're just like a one-stop shop where like you could book everything and anything with us.
Yeah, it's like if you have a party, don't worry about getting all those things. You can get them all
Yeah, and
all
then
in one. Yeah.
if we don't do it, we either can guide you to like move like shift you towards someone that knows how to do it, or we can learn how to do it.
Oh
Which I
yeah,
think
that's yeah.
yeah, which I think is pretty cool because I don't know, we learn something new every day.
Oh yeah, I know that's what you were telling me yesterday. That like if you don't know how to do something, like everyone in your family, just go and you learn it, and that's how you do things, which is a really great way to view anything, right? If you can't do something, try and
And it's
learn
just
it,
like
and yeah.
yeah, and then I have an older sister. She she draws, so she like brings all the artistic ability that we need. And my dad, he if I cuz I'm currently in the process of developing a coffee cart, a smaller cart for
Mhm.
indoor events, and he's actually going to help me do it. Cuz he was like, "Why do you pay someone to do it when I can do it?" And I was like, "Okay, like let's do it."
Yeah,
So,
that's true. Hey, he's got a point, right?
yeah.
He's like, we can actually. Well, that's really awesome. I'm really glad that everyone has that like entrepreneurial spirit, and it's been a motivation for you to also join in, have your own business as well, and that they've been really supportive throughout the way here. So that's actually a perfect segue to the business itself. Let's talk about the business. I know that it got established in 2022, but you didn't actually start selling until 2023, just about a year ago, almost a year ago, right? Is when
Yeah.
you first opened. So just tell us how the whole process was like, from how you got the idea to get it started to when you finally got the license to get it started and start opening.
So, back in 2020 is when I started working for a coffee shop, and I worked at that coffee shop until I worked for there for 3 years. Was it 3 years? Yeah, 3 years. So, I closed back in it might have been well, it was a little over 2.5 years. I'm, like, doing the math in my head and it's
Yeah.
coming to me. But, basically, like, working at that coffee shop made me realize how much I love, like, learning about coffee and actually making coffee, and, like, I met so many different people throughout the process, and like I tell everybody who, like, works in customer service or who just asks about it, um, is, like, you never know what someone is going through, and, like, you never know if that's the only interaction they're gonna have all day. So might as well make it count, and if you can make that person's day better just by serving them coffee, then why not do it? And so I came up with the idea of Cafecito Mio, um, because I enjoyed so much of what I did that I brought it up to my mom's attention, and I was like, like, why don't we open up a coffee shop or a coffee trailer? Just because I had never seen one. I had seen coffee trailers, but I had never seen like a Latin-based coffee trailer, at least here around here. And we named it Cafecito Mio because cafecito is like coffee, and then mio means mine. So it's like basically like my coffee. And when you say it, people are like, oh, like Cafecito Mio. Like it's just something that sticks with you and that you won't really forget about. So we came up with Cafecito Mio, and in 2022, we came up with our logo and our name, and then we started the process. And the process was started, but then we kind of stopped for a couple of months because we went into like some, how do I say it? Some difficulties with our whole blueprint situation. So then after that, I was kind of like, I was bummed out. I was like, I don't want to do it anymore. Um, and it was that one of the events my mom did. She was doing a festival, and we were talking to her vendor partner, or like the booth that was next to her, and they had a taco truck. And he was like, why don't you go to the person who made my taco truck? And I was like, okay, like, is he nice or whatever? And he was like, yeah, like, he's really cool. Like, if you tell him that I sent you, he'll know who you're talking about. And then I was like, oh, okay, like, let's do it. So me and my mom went down one day, and I basically told him my ideas. And he was like, yeah, I got it. Don't worry. And I was like, okay, cool. And what we liked about it is that they are basically with you through the whole process. They make sure you get approved. Like, they don't leave you until you have the health department permit. So they're with you every step of the way, and they handle talking to the health department. And if you need to go, then they'll tell you to go. But I just love how like they're with you every step of the way. And then when we finally got approved, we got our trailer and we started. That's pretty much how we started Cafecito Mio.
Yeah. Well, no, that's really interesting. I mean, going through it a few months and then being able to finally open, because I know it's always a struggle, right? That I've heard over and over again from business owners, right? It's that wait time, it's already registered, you're technically already could sell, but you know that there's a lot that you have to do to get prepped, right? To get
Yeah,
accepted.
and like, I never knew anything. Like, I didn't know anything about opening up a business. Like, it was more of like I was learning as I was doing things. And I'm the type of person that doesn't really like to ask for help. But I learned to ask for help, and I learned to ask questions to get to like there was a lot of driving back and forth involved. Because I remember there was like one day where they made me drive to this one place, and they're like, oh, you don't need to be here, you need to be over there. So I had to drive to a
Oh,
different place. And they're like, no, that is their job. And I was like, okay, so I'd have to go back. Until at one point I was like, look, I've been driving back and forth, I just need someone to tell me what to do so I can do it correctly. But then you meet a lot of nice people too. It all just depends like how you talk to a person.
mhm.
And they were able to help me out.
Oh yeah. No, it's talking nice goes a long ways, right? I think some people maybe don't realize that all the time, but you know, if you want something to happen, you have to make sure that you don't you don't go
Yeah,
in there with an aggressive voice, right? As frustrated as you might be feeling like, right? So that's good that
yeah. So,
someone guided you eventually.
yeah. So it's a learning process for sure. And like, I'm still learning. I'm still learning as I'm like growing. I'm learning like this past year was my first full year of being open. And I've learned like what people want, um, like on what seasons. Then you learn how to keep up with like the bigger coffee companies.
Mhm.
So it's like when they introduce pumpkin, you introduce pumpkin. Or when
Yeah.
when they introduce peppermint, you introduce peppermint. So it's just a lot of like learning going on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure too. I think that the next thing might be introducing stickers when Dutch introduces their stickers, and then
Just I introduce some
also
stickers. That would be something cool, getting some custom stickers made. Maybe
yeah,
in the future we'll do that.
right. Have the specific day and a specific time, just like they do. I think they dropped the sticker at 5 p.m. today or something, and I can never
He
get
shows like
them.
a
So
spoon. It's a spoon. It's an actual spoon that changes color. I think that's
oh,
what it
it's a
was.
spoon. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, for
Yeah,
that like cereal drink. Yeah, yeah, that's.
yeah. So
Well,
I was like, oh my goodness.
well, maybe it's not always stickers, or maybe sometimes once the business grows more, you could
Yeah, like
offer
I mean,
other things.
fortunately, like we were able to introduce merchandise. So that's one thing. Like I've had a couple people get shirts from us. So now we're just working on different designs for them.
Oh, nice. Yeah, merchandise is a big thing for sure, especially when you can have like Spanish messages, right, that go with the theme, right? I think it
Yeah.
works out good. Yeah, you have people that are gonna be wanting to wear them, and then people are gonna get questions, or did you buy it? And then they're gonna want to go and buy it, right? So,
Yeah. So that's one of
well,
our goals too.
well, let's go back to the whole year that you've had the business and take you back to opening day. No, you were saying that you had a collab with the car club. So tell us more about what that day was like, the moment you woke up to the moment that you closed for your first day in business.
So that day, I have a couple of friends who own a car club. They their car club is very well known in the 209 area. Um they basically like I went to school with a couple of them and I told them I was like, "Hey, I was like I'm going to open a coffee business. What do you think we do a cars and coffee?" And they're like, "Yeah, let's do it. Like we have a location, we'll help you out and we'll promote it." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So when that happened, we started promoting this cars and coffee. We did it, I believe, January 27th of 2024. That was our grand opening day. And um I think when I first did the grand opening, I think I had like 200 followers when I did it. So my following wasn't that big, but theirs was bigger. So with the help of them, I was able to gain more. And the day comes, I was nervous because I was like, I didn't know what to expect. Like I had worked in fast-paced environments or like high pressure environments. So but I didn't know exactly like what was going to happen. So we get there, we park, we decorated the trailer because when I did my grand opening, my trailer was white. It didn't have any wrap or anything. So it didn't look how it looks now. And then funny story is we did our grand opening like right across a Starbucks. Like there was a Starbucks in the same parking lot where we were at.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I think I got there at 9 a.m. 8:39. I don't remember, but I got there and then I we start setting up and then all of a sudden my friend comes, one of the main people, he came and he when he came, like five other people came and they all parked their cars right there. And so as I'm setting up, all of a sudden a bunch of cars came at 10 a.m. And I was like, "Oh my goodness." Like I did not expect so many cars to show up. And the game plan was that I was gonna work in the trailer for like 2 hours or so that I could go outside and like meet people. That didn't happen. So we were super busy that I didn't get a break until like 1:30. So from
Well,
like 10 to 1:30, like we were just going hard. We were trying to go as fast as we could and basically just get like get customer orders and get them out as fast as we could. Um but it was a good experience just because I was very, like, overwhelmed with how many people actually showed up. Well, not overwhelmed, but I was, like, overwhelmed with joy.
Hmm.
'Cause I was like, "Oh, like, if I could do this today, then I could just do this a couple of times in the year." And so, yeah, like, it was a really nice day
Yeah.
because I was, like I was only expecting 50 cars to show up, at least 50, and we actually filled the parking lot. So
Wow.
that was a very good plus and a very good sign that, like, our business was gonna be on the road to good standing and just getting growing.
So where was this like parking lot at? I'm trying to like visualize like the
Oh, we
spot where you.
we were in, do you know where the Save Mart in Modesto is on Oakdale and Sylvan? The brand new one, it's a newer one.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know that one now.
So we were in that parking lot in front of Pizza Twist. There's like a
Okay.
restaurant. So,
Yeah.
we knew the owner of Pizza Twist, so he was the one who helped us, like, who basically would vouch for me in the parking lot,
Oh
and then
wow. Yeah.
that whole area was filled.
Wow. That's really interesting. Especially, I mean, I know there's a Starbucks there that you mentioned, and
Yeah.
it just that was cool. I'm glad. Like, were there any issues with like the anyone from Starbucks come out or anything? Was there
No, there
any?
was no
Was there, oh,
issues at
okay.
all, like, everything was, and obviously, because I feel like there was people still going to them,
Hmm.
for
Oh yeah,
sure,
yeah.
so but it was a really good experience, and then we got nothing but positive feedback back, so
Oh, that's really awesome. I mean, to start off the business on like such a high, like, no, of course, like you set the bar up. So I read it of like all that, but it's really good. I think to be able to say that you've been able to serve so much like customers and just a short given amount of time, because I'm sure after like you went through that, you're like, hey, like have me go to the next event. Like this is how many I
yeah.
could do because I did it already, right? So I'm sure that it helped, right, for any events that you had in the future, catering, all that, to gauge, right, like what you could do.
Yeah, like, even when we booked our first party, like, it was crazy, but it was fun. So, in that party, we were just fortunate enough, like, they ended up getting us extra hours
Oh
because
well,
they loved the coffee so much. So, now,
wow.
like, with those 2 events, like, we were able to we were able to book more parties, and then, like, at different pop-up events, because I would do pop-up events, and we would have, like, a lot of inquiries come in through there. They're like, "Oh, do you do parties?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Do you do weddings?" I'm like, "Yeah, like, let's do it." And even if I've never done it before, I would just say yes, because it's just like another opportunity to be able to participate in something.
Oh
Like,
yeah, no, that's
we
good.
did an event for the Stanislaus County Office of Education.
Okay.
That was a big event. I felt like I was never gonna end. Yeah, like, it was that day was busy.
Oh yeah, I will say, with the I think that they're known as SCO as well, I think, or maybe it's just the terminology that I heard from someone, but I know when they do things, I mean, from what I heard, like you're mentioning now, like yeah, they do it big, right? Because there's a
Yeah,
lot of people that
they
work.
had the road closed off, and it was like a training for teachers. So, and then they got us for 250 people.
Wow.
So, they got me and another coffee cart. But we were so busy that day. Like, there was people waiting for a long time. But it worked out. Everybody was happy, and they were like, "We're gonna get you for another event." I'm like, "Okay, let's
Oh
do it."
yeah. That's the good thing, right? I mean, you leave on a positive note, and then they want you back for like their next events, and then I mean, like you were saying in that first day that you open, there's other people that get to know what you sell, and then if they have an event or like at the pop ups as well, they're trying to get you to. their event, right? And so it kind
Yeah,
of
or
you
they
build upon that. So
follow us too. They follow us and then they go to where you're gonna be located. Because since I'm mobile, I'm at different spots throughout the week. So like I'm not always just at one spot. So
so
and
what
then
are
we
some of the other spots that like you're normally at?
every Thursday I'm at a training center called Howard Prep. So that one's in series. And then sometimes we go to Doctors Medical Center, the hospital in Modesto. We do events there. Where else I've gone as far as Atwater too in Merced. I did the cheese festival in Hilmar.
Oh,
So I've gone up to Tracy too. So it's just like we do different events that people invite us to. And then it's just like I've also been to Bronco Winery and I'm in the process of getting into Gallo Winery. So we've been blessed and fortunate to be able to get these different connections from different people.
yeah. No, that's really nice, especially, and this is all before you turn officially 1 year too, right? So like even
Yeah,
more impressive to be able to do so much in like less than a year. And like you were saying, right, the connections, that's probably like the most important thing, right, for anyone who has a business. And especially when they're in your situation, right, where you're mobile, where you could just pick up, go wherever people want you to be at, and then just like sell right out of there. So that's another good perk of being able to pick up and go anywhere, right?
yeah, and then like with the trailer, my main goal was to make sure that the trailer was aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So, because like if you look at it the way like my sister always tells me like if you see something and it attracts your eye, like you're going to want to go try it. And I'm like, you're right. So with the colors that we chose, we want it to be simple, neutral, so that it looks pretty. If it looks pretty, then people are gonna want to try it. And that gets a bonus when the coffee's good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you
Yeah.
combine both and it's a great product to have. All right, well, I want to talk about the menu, different menu offerings that you have on here. So we're gonna go ahead and share the menu on the screen for those people that are watching on the video. But for those of you who aren't, we're gonna be describing what some of the different coffees you have here. So let me go ahead and get it shared here on the screen. Make sure that people can see it. I might have to zoom in. I know it's probably a bit smaller for people. All right. So walk us through. We're gonna go through two different menus here, but here on the screen right now we have the different coffees or cafecitos right that you have here on the menu. So tell us more about some of these. I know that some of them have a story behind the name, right? So just tell us more.
Yes. So the very first coffee scene right there, the finita, that one is a vanilla and caramel latte that it represents a caramel macchiato in a sense. And the story behind the finita is my mom's nickname is Fina, and that's her favorite drink. She loves that drink. So I was like, you know what? Like, we're going to name it after you. So that's how we came up with the finita. And eventually, I want to get a name named after like all my family members. We're just trying to figure out what best flavors fit their personality.
Nice.
Um, the Café de Olla is like a traditional Mexican coffee that we prepare in a clay pot. It's served black, so we don't put any creamer in it because we sweeten it with brown sugar cane and cinnamon. And so it has a different taste for sure. I remember trying Café de Olla for the first time in Mexico when I went to go visit my grandpa. And after that, at first I was kind of iffy because they gave it to me and I was like, I don't know, like I don't drink black coffee. And they were like, no, try it, like it's okay. And I was like, okay. I tried it and I was like, okay, like give me another one. But we were able to get the recipe from there and then bring it back here and be able to serve it to everybody else. El bombón. So basically, that in English is like the marshmallow. Um, there are these Mexican cookies. They have a white and pink marshmallow on the top with coconut shavings. And this drink basically tastes exactly like the cookie. And I got it pretty spot on. I was very surprised with myself when I did it because I was like, you know what? Like, let me just mix all these flavors and see if they go together. But it does look like it has a lot of flavors, but when you put them with coffee and espresso, like it all goes together. Our horchata iced coffee is probably my favorite coffee personally because I love horchata. Horchata is like my favorite, especially the horchata my mom makes. So we use her horchata because she makes it from scratch, and we put espresso over it. And when you mix them together, it just like, I don't know, it's perfect. The Holy Mammoth, that coffee is a chocolate marshmallow. No, just kidding. It's a vanilla and toasted marshmallow latte. It's topped off with chocolate drizzle and whipped cream. So the story behind that coffee is there is a chocolate covered marshmallow cookie like sandwich, I want to say. It's two cookies with marshmallow in the middle, and it's covered with chocolate. Um, it's probably my favorite cookie, actually. I really like that cookie, and so the drink represents that cookie. We also serve it with that cookie. Just like the bonbon, we serve it with the marshmallow cookie, and the holy mammoth, we serve it with the mammoth cookie. The dulce de leche is made with cajeta, which is a thick caramel that I don't really know how to describe that flavor. Like it's thick caramel made with goat milk. It's like it's an odd thing to say, but it's made with goat milk, and so we use that caramel. It's very thick, so we use that one and we mix it with espresso. It is on the little stronger side because of the espresso and the caramel, but we top it off with a lollipop. A lollipop made with that caramel. So like it's kind of like you can use that to sweeten it a little. So we have that one. And then we made up the Lucky 17. That one is called Lucky 17 because my birthday is on March 17th. And it's St. Patrick's Day. So lucky St. Patrick's Day. Yeah. That one. And then we used Irish cream because of St. Patrick's Day. And then Irish cream and white chocolate together is like a really good combination. And we top it off with lavender cold foam. It sounds interesting because you're like lavender cold foam. Like I don't like lavender, but I don't like lavender either. But when I tried it, like all the flavors go together. And even my sister who doesn't drink coffee, she was like, "This is good. Like put it on the menu." And I was like, "Okay, let's do it." And then the Duvalin, that one obviously represents the candy, the Mexican candy, the pink, white, and chocolate. Pink, white, and brown. Yeah, pink, white, and brown. It's a vanilla hazelnut mocha. So that represents like the chocolate part and the vanilla part. The chocolate is actually Nutella on the candy. And we top it off with the strawberry cold foam. So a lot of people like that one because it looks pretty, but they also say that it tastes good. So I was like, okay, we'll keep it on the menu. Nice. And then the churro latte is very popular too. It actually tastes like a churro. Like it's vanilla and cinnamon. So we mix those two flavors and then we top it off with the cinnamon sugar topping. and it tastes like I don't know, it's a really nice flavor. That one's one of my favorites too.
Oh yeah. No, anything churro sounds really good. And I know that on the podcast team, Brittany, she can vouch for that. That's the one that she actually ordered. So it was great. And that's one that I want to try next time too. I know that I saw horchata and I was like, I need to try horchata. I don't see the one that I ordered. I know it was matcha horchata, right? Was that added
Yeah,
later on?
that one's on the other one.
Oh, it's on the
This
oh, okay. It's on the
top.
other menu here. So that yeah, that's the first one there. Actually, we should also note right that you can also have oat milk or almond milk for anyone who drinks plant-based milk. So that's good that
Yeah.
you cater towards them as well.
And then we do have sugar-free options too. Not a lot, but for the most part we have like sugar-free vanilla, white chocolate, coconut. I think I'm gonna do caramel soon too.
Oh, nice. That's good. Also cater to people who can't have sugar as well. And now we're looking at other drinks. More drinks right here. And here's the iced matcha or chata that I ordered, which was really good. So tell us more about these drinks here.
So the horchata is just like basically these other drinks we made them to they're like drinks with no caffeine. Like the horchata has no caffeine, the hot chocolate has no caffeine, and the Italian soda has no caffeine. So we have options for like kids or like people that can't have caffeine or they just don't like coffee. Um, so our strawberry horchata chai, we actually use the same horchata. We add chai to it and we put strawberry. A lot of people like that one. And I heard it's better than the one from Dutch Bros. I don't know, but maybe it's because we use real horchata. I don't know, you know?
Yeah,
But it
that
is
makes a
really
difference.
good. And then hot chocolate is just your typical hot chocolate. And then matcha horchata. When I started matcha horchata, I personally don't like matcha.
Oh,
Matcha is
okay.
really like it's it's definitely for certain people and it's not for certain people. And it's okay because like obviously like I had to try it when I decided to use it.
Oh,
Um but a lot of people who like matcha really like using the matcha horchata because they like both horchata and matcha. And I think it's a good combination. So I've heard
oh yeah,
nothing but positive things. And I
I
mean, you
agree.
like it, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that likes both, right? Just by themselves as well. And I think at least, and I've been to quite a few coffee shops now at this point within like the last 2 years, that you're the only one that I've seen that has a matcha or chata combination. I'm sure maybe there might be others in the Bay Area, not sure maybe LA and all that, but at least in the ones that I've been to thus far, I mean, someone might come out and be like, no, this coffee shop has it, but I haven't been there. But it's the first place that I've seen both of them combined, and I'm sure there's maybe other people that also like both, and combining them is like amazing. Have both, so we don't have to pick. Am I gonna get horchata or am I gonna get a matcha latte? Right? Just put them
Yeah.
together, so we don't
Like
have to
both.
decide.
Like, yeah. So that's another one we have. We have tea for whoever prefers tea rather than coffee or like rather than milk. We have that. And they could choose any flavor. We could put flavor in it. And Italian soda is for we can mix and match like any flavors. I have a list of the fruit flavors with the Red Bulls, and it's for like people who want the carbonation but don't want the caffeine. So it's like a really good idea. Um, we also sell infused Red Bulls. Um, we can flavor them to whatever you want. Like a very popular combination that we have is strawberry coconut. A lot of people love that. So it's not on there, but I also have green apple added to it. And we do offer sugar-free options. I only have 3 sugar-free flavors, um, but we do offer it for people who want sugar-free. And we also offer a variety of cold foams and whipped cream. I have the mazapan cold foam, the lavender cold foam, and I can make like vanilla cold foam, like whatever flavor you want, we can make it. It's just like with the menu, if there's something that you don't like you don't have to get whatever's on the menu. If I have a flavor, I can make anything you want. Like if you just want a plain vanilla oat milk latte, we can make a plain vanilla oat milk latte. And I feel like that's one of the benefits from owning a coffee shop is that you can do so much, like you're not limited to just doing one thing. And I think that's what people like is when you have the ability to make anything. So,
Oh yeah, no, it's nice to be able to combine things, or if someone tells you what might sound like a wacky idea, right? Like, oh, combine this with that, and you're like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I want to just try it.
I actually okay, you're gonna laugh, but
Uh,
I had someone order a matcha with 2 shots of espresso. And I was like, "Are you sure?" He was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Put cinnamon, oat milk, matcha, and 2 shots of espresso." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "I'm gonna have you try it because I want you to leave here liking it." So, and he liked it, and I was like, "Okay, everybody's taste buds are different."
oh, okay, yeah. Let's see. That's that's an
Yeah.
example, right? It could actually work out if people have these ideas, and sometimes it's just a few people that like something, and it's great to have that option and watch. Maybe now someone's gonna ask for for that, aside from the
And
person
then
who
it's
already asked
okay, I
you.
will make it for you.
Yeah, someone listening now or watching is gonna be like, you know what? Let me actually know what that tastes like now. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, who knows? Like you said, it might be your next favorite drink, right? And I don't know if they do that in like Starbucks or Dutch. I mean, I've never like gone as far as telling them like, give me all these like wacky flavors, but I don't know. Do they do that, or is that again one benefit also of like going local?
Yeah. Yeah. At least Dutch Bros, I know they do it.
Okay.
It's just catering to the customer and whatever the customer wants.
Yeah.
So, like, if you tell me you want strawberry in your coffee, we will put strawberry in your coffee.
Yeah. You got me thinking now. I'm like, I'm gonna have to like figure out
Yeah,
what wacky thing could I.
like, I never thought coconut in coffee would taste good, but it does. It's just
Coconut
like
and coffee.
strawberry, the bonbon that we have, that one has strawberry and coconut in it. And I mean, it's like crazy to think, but a lot of people like it. I like it, so
Yeah, that's another one on my to try list too, because I like those marshmallow cookies. I mean, they're like childhood, so I
yeah.
gotta try that. Well, the moment you mentioned those cookies, I was like, everyone who knows what those cookies are, you know that if you like marshmallow, those are like the standard like of marshmallow cookies, because doesn't get
Yeah.
better than that. Well, we talked about it earlier. In just a few weeks from as of like this recording here now, you're gonna turn a year. You told us it was like on the 27th, right, of like this month. And I know that you have something special being planned, right, for the first year anniversary. So can you tell us more details about this event, where people can go and check it out?
Yeah, so we're currently in the process of planning our first year anniversary cars and coffee. Um, I do have a flyer posted, but tomorrow I'm going to be posting a video that we came up with. So if you follow Cafecito Mio on Instagram, you'll be able to see the video. But our cars and coffee will be January 25th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It could always go longer. We don't mind staying longer, but we just put that as like a time frame. Um, it's gonna be in Modesto at it's the address is 2828 Sisk Road. Um, that business is Mancini Sleep World. It's kind of by like Red Lobster, Chuck E. Cheese area. So the owner from there gave us permission to host our Cars and Coffee in his parking lot. And so the parking lot is actually the parking lot where Orchard Supply Hardware used to be
Mm.
because they had like a shared parking lot. So we're going to be there January 25th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And basically just going to have a lot of cool cars. Any cars welcome. All families are welcome. It's a family friendly event. And we're just hoping for another good turnout.
Yeah, no, that's really awesome. I'm glad that they're doing the event there because that lot has been empty for a really long time. I mean, it's really sad even just like driving by there, knowing that it used to be so alive when that place was open, when like Toys R Us right next door was open too. So
Yeah,
I'm glad that the owner was cool to say like, yeah, like do
yeah.
something here so that way people can come
And
by.
like the owner, like I'm actually really thankful on how I got the location because I became friends with another coffee trailer. It's a family. Their coffee is the Drip Coffee Bar. So that's their home location. So they were willing to let me borrow it for that day. And they're the ones who helped me get into contact with the owner. And then, like, through them, I was just very thankful that they were able to help me get permission there. And now we're just going to host a really cool Cars and Coffee.
Yeah. Well, that's really great. I'm glad it's in that location again. It's right next to the freeway, so anyone who wants to go, it's just easily you exit the freeway.
You could
It's
literally see
right
it off
there.
the freeway.
Oh yeah, and you could see it out the freeway too. Just don't slow down too much because we already have enough traffic on 99.
Yeah.
Get off the freeway and then and then go and park somewhere because it's a large parking lot. I know. I mean, even with I'm sure with like Toys R Us, people can park on that side as well. Just because there's so much parking because of it being empty for so long. Um, but I got an interesting question to ask, and I really like asking this question just to look towards the future for business owners. But imagine that like you won a lottery and that you have extra money to spend on the business. Like, just tell me what you would spend the business, or sorry, tell me like what you would spend the money on for the business, and like what your like future business plans or like for your business.
So, like, obviously, like, if I was giving the extra money to go towards a business, I would definitely expand. That is one of my goals is to expand and eventually get a cafe. So we could have both the trailer and the cafe. Um, and like a dream would be being able to open up one in my mom's hometown in Mexico. Like that would just be cool because they don't have like she's from a town in Zacatecas called Fresnillo.
Okay.
So it's not small, but it's smaller. Like it's one of the smaller cities. Um and I think a coffee shop like that would be something that nobody has ever seen or heard of. So I think it would be a great idea to like eventually open something over there and being able to like bring something from here over there or from there over here. Like I don't know, I just like combining both of them.
Oh yeah, yeah. And there's plenty of drinks that you can make over there, right? I mean, I'm just like thinking that some of those cookies, and
Or
all that
like
that you can
even better,
definitely
like
make
something
them.
even better from over there.
Oh yeah, yeah, because you already know, right? The bread's a thousand times better. I always say if anyone that hasn't been to Mexico, you need to go, right? Because the food is so much more different than out here, and the drinks. I mean, everything, right? It's
Yeah,
all got a
everything
different
tastes
taste.
so different. Like a drink that I'm trying to work on that's hopefully gonna get introduced is like the chocomil, the milkshakes.
Oh yeah.
So we're trying to make one here, but we want to serve it how they serve it over there, and they serve it in a little bag.
Oh yeah.
So that's one of that. I feel like it's just a bag, but I don't know. The bag makes it taste 10 times better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. And plus, I mean, yeah, like it's the people who've gone to Mexico know about it, and also the people who've never gone. I'm trying to think, but I don't think I've ever been anywhere here that actually serves you in that way. But it
Yeah,
would be really interesting for people to
I
try it.
haven't found a place. I'm sure there is places, like, probably in LA, but, I haven't found a place that serves it like that, so
Oh yeah.
we just
Oh, you gotta have something like that just so people can experience that, and then they could kind of get a feel for what that's like, right? Because I think it's just really interesting when you can go out and get a drink in a bag. And I know to the people who've never seen it, right, it might be kind of weird, right, to say, oh, you
Yeah,
put a
they're
straw in a
probably like,
bag.
"What are you talking about?" But if you've experienced it before, you know that, like, there's a different taste to it.
Oh
So,
yeah. Especially Chocomil too. I mean, Chocomil, I think you're gonna get a lot of people remembering their childhoods, right, of drinking that and all that. So and as you know, right nowadays, it's almost like all these businesses are trying to get you with the nostalgia, right? Of like, oh, you remember this, you remember that, the taste, the
yeah.
flavors of different things. So I think that that could be a bestseller potentially. So
Yeah, like, every time we go to Mexico, that's, like, the one thing I want. I'm just like, "Oh, can we go to the" 'cause my grandpa's house is, like, in downtown of that city. So you walk a couple like, 3 blocks, and you're at the in the downtown area where they have, like, all the little stands and stuff, and there's, like, this specific one that we always go to, and I'm like, "I wanna go there, and I wanna get my chocomil." So,
hey,
that's
well, cool.
definitely
Yeah. That could eventually be your business in Mexico, right? That also has that, and like you said, some of the drinks, certainly I'm sure the logo and just and all that, and even maybe like a I don't know, like a placard of how the business got started, where it got started, and people can know, oh, it started over there, and now it's in Mexico, and you might be a first. I mean, I've never heard anyone say like, oh, like I opened a location in Mexico, right, that has a local business and carries some of the same whatever, right, that they make. So I think
essence,
that's
yeah.
yeah, that would be a good, and I'm sure your parents would be so happy to like see see that connection. You could probably have like family members run it over there and even give you ideas for drinks to like export, right? And kind of go back and forth too, right? So,
Yeah, 'cause I feel like espresso is a really popular thing over here, but I don't think it's really popular in Mexico, at least in places like over there. I've never like, all the times I've gone, I've never seen an espresso machine.
hmm.
It's always like they say, "I want coffee," and they have, like, a drip coffee machine. So I think it would be something cool to, like, in the future, if the opportunity ever presents itself, I'm definitely gonna try to, like, pursue it.
Oh yeah, and it could even be like a seasonal thing for espresso, right? Because I'm sure, I mean, they get the tourism, right? They get people from over here that go for the holidays, that go for like special like events, festivals. I'm sure that go on, right? So you having that, you're kind of also catering to them, right? Essentially, you're also serving the people that are visiting from the states, right, to
Yeah.
Mexico. So that could work, maybe as a seasonal and seeing how it works out, but.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens in the future.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a great plan. Hopefully that happens, and you could say that you have a location international, which would be just amazing. Well, one last thing here before I let you go. Just tell the listeners or the people watching right now, like where can people follow Cafecito Mio so they find out the schedule of like where the trailer is going to be at, or like what events you're going to be at, and all that.
So our Instagram is Cafecito Mio. There's 2 I's in the Mio. And I post my weekly schedule every Sunday. So every Sunday I'll post where I'm at for the week. And that's one way you can find where we'll be at. And every day that we're at a location, we post before we go to the location. We'll put what time we'll be there. So but I also have a phone number that we can use if you ever want to get into contact about like parties, different events. That phone number is 209-596-6955. 7868. And that's my phone number. And then if texting or calling is not your thing, I also have an email. So our email is cafecitomio@gmail.com, but there's two I's in the cafecito and in the mio. So just because we had to do it that way. But that's basically how we can get into contact, and we could either plan an event together or we can cater to an event. So whichever one.
Nice. Well, there you go. No matter how you communicate, there's different ways for everyone to reach out to you. And I hope that you get to go to more events, that you get to do more parties and all that, and that you're also able to like loop in your family, right? And what they do, and then just help them also grow their businesses. So everyone just grows together, which is, I mean, really awesome to see all of you kind of doing different things and still supporting each other and all that. I think it's really great to be able to see that.
Yeah, and the ultimate goal is to grow. So we're all growing together and expanding.
Well, that's really awesome. No, good luck with everything. I'm gonna try my best to be at that event because it's in my hometown here, so I gotta go and check it out there and all that. So if I'm able to be there, I'll probably be doing like a live stream on like Instagram. So be on the lookout for that on the 25th for everyone listening, watching. So we'll try to be there.
Yeah, we'd love for a lot of people to come. So let's make it big and let's make it a fun day.
Oh yeah, let's get like double the people that were there. I'm sure you'll be like prepared for that, right? If it's 200 instead of
we're definitely we're definitely prepared this year. I did forget to mention we are handing out free cake pops to the first 50 people. So first 50 people that show up and I like buy a drink, everybody's just gonna get free cake pops.
oh, there. I mean, people should have already been there from like before you opened, but now now I think you're gonna have people there lining up and just trying to get that cake pop, probably counting too, right? But I think I see like 40, 45 people might might still in the 50 and all that. Well, that's really awesome. Now looking forward to that. Again, congratulations on basically almost a year at this point. I mean, we'll just count it as a year because we're in the month right now as we record this, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the years that you have ahead and all the different ideas that you have, because you've already done so much in 1 year, and I think that you're going to do so much more in like year 2 because you've done so much in the first year, and you're going to build upon the connections.
So we'll see.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for being on today's episode, and again, yeah, I'll try my best to be there on the 25th and do a live stream there.
All right, thank you so much.
Well, once again, thank you to Mariana for being on the podcast tonight. And just another reminder for y'all listening or watching currently, check out the podcast on social media at Facebook, Instagram, at the 209 Journey. Also on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe over there if you haven't yet. We are planning on actually posting more videos on that site. So if you subscribe, you'll find out when new episodes get posted there as well. Also, check out the website, the209journey.com. On there, you can actually listen to the episodes. You can watch them. I do have the YouTube channel embedded on there. So it's your one spot to actually have all that. And I'm trying to actually add more things on the website in the future. I'll probably also have a blog on there. So if you prefer to read, you can also have a few articles that'll be posted on there, and maybe also some like local guides. So keep an eye out for that. We'll announce it on social media once those sections get built out. But we do want to do more on the website itself there. Again, the209journey.com. Thank you so much to everyone, as always, for watching, for listening to the podcast episodes. I really appreciate you all. Also, again, one more reminder, please hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube now, or if you're not, go on YouTube, just search for the 209 Journey podcast, and you should be able to see the channel on there. It would really mean a lot to us here on the podcast because, as I mentioned earlier, we're trying to monetize the podcast at some point, and YouTube is a perfect flat platform to be able to do so there. But we do have a long ways out before we get there. But if you can just help us out by subscribing, checking out the episodes as well, because we eventually want to get to that goal. And like I said, we are going to be doing more videos on there, and some of them might only be on YouTube too. So check it out, subscribe so it lets you know whenever we post a new video. Also activate the notification so it actually can notify you as well. With that being said, y'all, if you are on YouTube right now, you'll probably get a suggested video show up here on the screen. Go ahead and check that out, or you can also check out the other videos that I've done from the last season episodes. And with that, thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have a good morning or good night whenever you're listening or watching. And you'll hear me soon again here on the 209 Journey podcast.